Hi everyone, Mike here at Bikes by Mike for another cycling related video. This one's going to be short and I'm back in the garage to deal with a bike maintenance issue. And specifically I'm talking about tubeless tires, or in this case road tubeless tires for my Cannondale System 6. And an issue that isn't frequently mentioned that turned out to be the problem in my case. So really I just discovered the issue by process of elimination. I went on 2 road rides where about 3/4 into the ride, I developed a rear tire flat. And it wasn't clear to me where the air was leaking. I pumped up the tire and I was good enough to get home to try to diagnose the problem. And it really was through process elimination that I figured it out because it wasn't obvious. I looked at the tire looked fine. But it needed a replacement anyway, so I replaced it. Replaced the sealant, even though the sealant was only a month old. That turned out not to be the issue. Also looked at the rim tape. That's often a spot of bother or where air can leak. So this is an issue I often have, and I'm sure other people have run into, is that often the issue is with the rim tape, and specifically where the valve makes contact or where the valve punctures the rim tape to come out the other side. And really what you want to do is you really want a pinhole made into the rim tape to push the valve through. You don't want to make that hole any larger than it needs to be. So really just an X-Acto knife with a small pinhole, or even a pin quite frankly, just to start it. So you can push the tubeless valve through is all you want. If you make it too big, which is so easy to do, especially if you're using an X-Acto knife, you'll have a hell of a time getting the valve to seal properly. So I looked at that and that looked fine as well. And what I tend to do is that anytime I pump up the tires, I always just make sure this nut is tight. So I just tighten it finger tight with my fingers. And I do that all the time, just as a matter of habit and preventative maintenance, because these nuts can loosen. And if these nuts loosen, the valve most likely is going to loosen, and then the seal is going to be compromised, and you're probably going to lose air through here. When I was trying to diagnose the problem, I looked at this and put some water around it, and it wasn't leaking air. So that's why I had a hard time figuring out that it was actually the tubeless valve, because I'm always tightening it. So what I think happened is, it's interesting, on both the rides where I lost air was a pretty bumpy section of asphalt. And what I think happened is this nut loosened at that strip of pavement. So I pumped up the tire, and just by habit, I would have tightened this nut. And when I got home, this nut was still tight. So when I checked to see if it was leaking air, I didn't see it was leaking air. But on my last ride, I made sure this was tight from the start and through the duration of the ride, and the tire was held its pressure perfectly through the entire ride. So I'm sure this is what the issue was. So. Not something that people talk about because, and quite frankly, I've had this issue on mountain bike rims as well as other road bikes. So that's why I just got into the habit of keeping this tight. I think the problem is, especially on bumpy roads, the vibration is just going to want to loosen this nut. So what I'm going to start doing, which I think is a good habit to do, and I can't see any harm in doing it, is use something like this. Focuses. There we go. So this is Loctite compound, blue Loctite, and blue Loctite means medium strength. You do not want red Loctite or you'll never get that nut off. But there's a variety of blue Loctite. Most are going to be fine. This one doesn't have a number on it, but I believe Loctite 248 works well. This one comes in, I guess, kind of like a paste form. But you can get it in liquid form as well. They all do pretty much the same thing. So really just want to apply a little bit of this to the nut and the thread of the valve, And that, I'm sure, is going to hold it in place and prevent the vibration, the road vibration, from loosening it over time. Anyway, folks, that's all I got for today. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you're not a subscriber to this channel, please subscribe. It gives me an opportunity to create more videos like this for all of you. That's it. Happy rolling, everyone. Bye for now.